You don't want to draft without watching this video. It is my ultimate team construction guide. I distill 18 years of experience into one video that will help you dominate your draft. You do not want to miss this. Keep watching.
Step on the court where the legends are made. Fantasy dreams where the stats get paid.
Barack Lesnar Hoops Fantasy Basketball.
Hey, this is Barack Lesnar of Barack Lesnar Hoops, and I wanted to let you know that this presentation is part of the Believe in Fantasy Network. Shout out to Robin Marks. Before we get started, do me a favor and smash that like button for me and subscribe to Barack Lesnar Hoops if you have not yet. I've been working on this video for the last 2 days. I've spent hours and hours, and it was prompted by a comment by somebody that said they wanted me to do a deeper dive into my strategy, not just to tell you the players, not to give you the surface level, but really give you the breakdown of how I construct my teams, how I punt, what players I target, why I target them. And that's what this video is. So please keep watching until the end. Take this information into your drafts, and I think you're going to really like the end result. All right. So this is the resource that I've put together, the Barack Lesnar Hoops build, the championship-proven 9-category strategy. It's won me 27 championships, a total of 69 trophies, a win rate of 66.2, 1,599 wins, which is a 66.2 win rate, 955 diamond rating, 11-time diamond tier on Yahoo, been playing since 2007. That is the credibility I bring, and really these are the insights that led me to that success, and I want to share them with you today. So the winning formula, going to get right to it. Build elite in the big 5 categories. We're going to go over that. I want you to stay competitive in the other 4 categories. You got to stream smart. I want you to average 5 to 6 categories you're winning per week. As you can see, my 66.2 category wins equals championships. That's what we're targeting. So our engines, normally your first few picks are going to go towards your engines, and we're going to break down what the engines are. Essentially, the 2 to 3 engines are the foundation you build around. They're going to provide you your baseline volume production. So they're going to give you points, threes, assists, rebounds. They're going to have high usage, high minutes. These are your star players in the NBA. You're going to target 2 to 3 of these elite engines, normally in the first 4 rounds. You're talking about Jokic. You're talking about SGA, Luka, KD. Engines should hit 5 or more of the 10 benchmarks. And we're going to break down those benchmarks later, okay? Your engines keep you competitive in all categories. They're not just specialists. They're really the source of the strength of your team. They are the keystones. They are what we build around. So after we have our engines, we're going to fill our roster with big 5 specialists. The big 5 specialists are guys that are going to help you with your field goal percentage, your free throw percentage, your steals, your blocks, and your turnover. Your engines are going to handle your points, your threes, your assists, and your rebound. And then we're going to stream throughout the season to supplement. We're going to push the hot hand, and we're going to add a buffer to our volume stats so that we can decide which 5 categories we win on any given week. We build a balanced enough structure between our specialists, between our engines, that then our streaming can get us over the top on any given week. So the 2-phase draft strategy. Phase 1, draft your 2 to 3 engines for volume production, your high usage players. Phase 2, fill the roster with those big 5 specialists. You're talking about steal specialists like Daniels, Herbert Jones, OG Anunoby. Then your dual percentage anchors, Mark Williams, Vucevic, Aaron Naismith. And then your assist to turnover god, CP3, Tyus Jones, Pritchard. You're going to have some block specialists, and we're going to talk about that, but normally those are going to be your centers and maybe some guards that we target specifically for their ability to do that. I don't want you to reach for just pure scorers or 3-point shooters after round 4. We want that to come from our engines, and then after that, we want to really focus on those big 5 categories. So our weekly goal is we want to dominate with this strategy where we're winning 5-4 at least, but really 6-3 is what we want to average on any given week. Sometimes we're going to have 7-2 blowups, sometimes 8-1, maybe even 9-0. 9-0 blowups, man, those feel nice. So again, your engine is going to provide competitive volume. They're going to help you with your points, threes, assists, rebounds. Your specialists are going to help you win field goal, free throw, steals, blocks, turnovers, and then your streams to patch the holes in your team build. We want to win 5 to 6 categories per week. 66.2 category wins, just like my team record, equals championships. So what are the big 5 categories? We already went over that, but we're going to go into it in more detail. Steals, okay? My goal with steals, I want to finish top 2 in the league if possible. If not top 2, then I want to be at least in the top 4. They're the hardest category to find, that and blocks. Only 50 players average over a steal per game. It's really hard to stream your way into elite steals numbers. You just kind of have to construct your team with those steal specialists. I want you to draft at least 3 steal specialists, normally guys that get you 1 0.5 or more steals per game. If you could grab 5 to 7 of those guys, you probably have too many, but man, you'd be hard to beat. But you want to target as many as you can. You have somebody like Dyson Daniels that can get you 3+ per game. Amon Thompson, 2+ per game. Herbert Jones, almost 2 per game. Jalen Williams, almost 2 per game. Some other specialists that you can target as well is Cason Wallace, also on the Thunder. Terry Eason, also 1.7 steals per game. So if you could get 3 to 4 of those guys, you're in pretty good shape with your steals. So with blocks, if you're going to finish top 2 in steals, then you want to finish top 4 in blocks at the very least. Your blocks are going to come from your centers, and you're going to have some big wings. You want 3 block specialists, guys that get you at least 1.5 blocks per game, ideally 4 to 5 of those guys. So a guy like Wemby that can get you 3.8 blocks per game. Anthony Davis can get you 2.2 blocks per game. Walker Kessler, 2.4 blocks per game. Miles Turner, 2 blocks per game. There's also some steal specialists that can help you with your shot blocking, such as OG Anunoby. Herbert Jones can get you 0.9 blocks per game. Amon Thompson can get you 1.1 blocks per game. So those stocks guys, I love them. Rare unicorns, Derek White can get you 1.1 blocks per game for a point guard eligible player. Jaren Jackson Jr. can get you 1.5 blocks per game, and he'll also get you 3. So I value those guys that can help you in those different areas. So for your field goal percentage, you want to target 2 to 3 centers who can shoot 55% or more and take a lot of shots. So 10+ field goal attempts per game. So the super elite field goal percentage, you're looking at Jared Allen, 70% on 10.2 field goal attempts. Daniel Gafford, also 70%. Derek Lively, 70%. Jalen Duren, 70%. Rudy Gobert, 66%. Walker Kessler, 66%. Now, keep in mind, most of those guys are going to hurt your free throw percentage. So something to make a mental note of. Now, elite guys that really help your field goal percentage, Ivica Zubac, 62%. Jakob Poeltl, 62%. Mark Williams, 60%. Giannis with 60%. Domantas Sabonis with 59%. Nikola Jokic with 57%. Evan Mobley with 55%. Jonas Valanciunas with 55%. So you want to target some of these centers for their ability to really help your field goal percentage. But we're going to discuss the ones later that can also help your free throw percentage. Those are the ones we really want. So for free throw percentage, you want to target 2 to 3 guards or wings who can shoot 85% or more at high volume on 5+ free throw attempts per game. So some of the players that meet that criteria, you got Steph Curry, you got Chris Paul, you got Aaron Naismith, you got Kyrie Irving. He's probably going to be out till around the All-Star break, but he qualifies. You got Mike Conley, Kobe White, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Desmond Bane, Devin Booker, Cameron Johnson, and Tyus Jones can all get you multiple free throw attempts on a really high free throw percentage. Now, players that can get you 85 to 90% on 5+ free throw attempts, Jamal Murray, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Jonas Valanciunas, Tyler Hero, also injured for a couple of months, but he should be back this season. Darius Garland also missing the first few weeks of the season, but another strong competitor. You have James Harden, Trae Young, Franz Wagner, Ty Jerome, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson, Tobias Harris, Austin Reeves, DeMar DeRozan, and Jalen Williams. These are all guys that can really help your free throw percentage and do so on volume. And a lot of them are also going to help you with your threes. They're going to help you with your steals. Some of them are going to help you with your block. So they fit the criteria that we're discussing. For turnovers, we want to draft those assist to turnover gods. So I label them as having a 2.5+ assist to turnover ratio, and they get you at least 4 assists per game. Because it doesn't matter if your assist to turnover ratio is great if you're only getting a couple of assists. I really want guys that can get me 4+ assists so I can get some volume besides just the assist to turnover ratio. So some of those guys, Tyus Jones, 5.3 assists to 1.1 turnovers, elite 4.8 assist to turnover ratio. You have Chris Paul now with the Clippers likely playing backup, but last season got you 7.4 assists, 1.6 turnovers. Elite Jimmy Butler, 5.4 assists to 1.3 turnovers, over 4 assist to turnover ratio. Mike Conley as well might have more of a limited role, but he did give you that last season. Then guys that are good and can help you, Peyton Pritchard, 4.6 assists to 1.3 turnovers. You have Drew Holiday, DeMar DeRozan, Andrew Nembhard, Jalen Brunson, Austin Reeves, Jamal Murray, Derek White, Darius Garland. These are the point guards that you should be targeting in your drafts because, again, they can get you those volume assists and do so with a nice assist to turnover ratio. So that means you're not leading your league in turnovers. That's the secret. Then you have guys like Reeves. You have guys like Jalen Brunson. You have guys like DeMar DeRozan, Peyton, Jamal Murray. You have guys like Derek White. They can all get you 20+ points per game. So they're scorers. They don't hurt your efficiency. They help your free throw percentage. This is how you get guys that can help you in all those different categories, even though you only have 13 roster spots. It's about that multi-category output. Some low usage specialists that get you under 1.5 turnovers per game. These are really guys that can help us in other areas. Glue guys. So you got Aaron Naismith, only 0.8 turnovers per game. Mikal Bridges only 1.6 turnovers per game. You have Derek White, OG Anunoby, Herbert Jones, Aaron Gordon, Peyton Pritchard, Drew Holiday, Jimmy Butler, Tyus Jones, Mike Conley, Terry Eason, all guys with really low volume turnovers that can still help you in the other categories, the big five that we've been discussing. So the stock strategy, you can dominate both steals and blocks, but it's hard. There's an easier path. Try to finish top 2 in steals. If you can draft 5 to 7 steal specialists, that might be too many, I'm telling you, but that would be ideal. At the very least, you want at least 3, though. You want to finish top 4 in blocks. So you want to stay competitive, and you want to have at the very least 3 shot blockers to get you 1.5 assists per game, maybe closer to 4. That's how you remain competitive in block. And if you can grab a guy to get you 2+ blocks per game, that changes the arithmetic just a little bit. And then you have to stream players throughout the season to help you in those categories as needed. You just want to be strong enough that you're competitive, and then you can stream the difference as needed. And the track record of me applying this so far, like I told you, has been 27 championships, 69 total trophies, win rate of 66%, been dominating for 15+ seasons. I welcome your favorite fantasy basketball content creator to share their credentials and put them up against mine. Go ahead. So my 7 simple championship rules that have helped me win 27 championships. Master them and you can dominate your league, okay? Good players have the ability to cancel out bad players. What that means is, so for example, let's say Karl Anthony Towns takes 20 free throws and he shoots 83%. He makes 16.6 of his free throws. Then you have Dyson Daniels, who only shoots 59% from the free throw line on 5 free throw attempts. When you combine those 2 players, though, it averages out to 78%. Now, all of a sudden, Karl Anthony Towns, who has a weakness in steals, is now averaging out to about over 1.5 steals per game when combined with Dyson Daniels. At the same time, his high free throw percentage is now averaging out nicely with that free throw percentage of Dyson Daniels. So you have to be able to absorb the hit from Dyson Daniels. So by having somebody like Karl Anthony Towns, now I'm able to address the steals and I'm able to address the free throw percentage. But you want to be careful not loading up on too many players that are exceptions that can hurt you, like I just did with Dyson Daniels, because then you might not have enough strong players to offset it, the damage that can do. Which is why I say you should have a maximum of 2 to 3 exceptions, and 3 might be too many. Players who hurt you in 1 to 2 big 5 categories but are elite elsewhere is what I consider exceptions. So Dyson Daniels is an exception we gave with 59% free throw but 3 steals. Giannis gets you 62% from the free throw line but 60% field goal. Chris Paul, 43% field goal but 92% from the free throw line. Incredible assist to turnover ratio. So that's what I mean by exception. A free throw anchor for your team is somebody that, in my opinion, gets you 81% from the free throw line on at least 5 free throw attempts. A field goal anchor is somebody that gets you 55% or more from the field on 10 field goal attempts per game. That volume and that efficiency is important because that's how you can absorb low volume, low efficiency players like Dyson Daniels. Rule number 3, we want to build for the big 5. What that means is win categories that are harder to stream. So points, threes, and assists, you can stream those easier. Stocks and percentages are a little bit more difficult. So for steals, draft 3+ guys who get you 1.5+ steals. We talked about Daniels. We talked about Amon. We talked about Herbert Jones. For blocks, draft 3+ guys who can get you 1.5+ blocks. You're talking about Wemby. You're talking about Anthony Davis. You're talking about Miles Turner. For field goal percentage, draft 2 to 3 centers. They get you 55% from the field on 10+ field goal attempts per game. For free throw, 2 to 3 players that get you 85% free throw on 5+ free throw attempts. And for turnovers, you want to draft those 2 to 3 assist to turnover ratio guys. Again, 2.5+ assist to turnover ratio and at least 4 assists per game. Guys like Austin Reeves, that gets you 5.8 assists to 2 turnovers. Andrew Nembhard, 5 assists to 1.7 turnovers. Jamal Murray, 6 assists to 2.1 turnovers. Now, keep in mind that most of these rules are always going to have exceptions, but one of the rules for me is don't reach for volume after round 4. Secure your 2 to 3 engines as soon as you can, maybe 4, and then stop chasing points, threes, and assists and focus more on your big 5 specialists. You want to target players with rare combinations. These are players that give you an advantage other teams can't match. So some rare combinations are assists from centers. Jokic with 10.2 assists, Sabonis with 6 assists, Bam Adebayo with 4.3 assists from the center position. Blocks from guards, Derek White getting you 1.1 blocks per game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting you a block per game. Rebounds from your guards, so Josh Hart with 9.6 or Giddey with 8.1. Anything you get from Wemby, when you get 3.8 blocks, 3.1 3-pointers made, and 83% free throw from a big man, that is unicorn production. As unicorn as he's not even a unicorn. The man is an alien. You want to draft 4 to 5 centers. In most default leagues, you have 13 roster spots. You want 4 to 5 of those to be center eligible players. Centers provide you elite field goal percentage, blocks, rebounds, and they can sometimes get you assists. Most people don't draft enough big men and they end up regretting it. They're on the waiver wire streaming mediocre backup big men all season, while the big daddy Chads have loaded up on the big guys. So target 4 to 5 centers, your Jokic's, your Wembys, your Karl Anthony Towns, your Sabonis's, your Vucevic's, your Mark Williams. Target 4 to 5 point guard eligible players. I think that's important as well. Guys with elite assist to turnover ratio, your steal specialist. Target 3 to 4 wing players that are 3 to D players and stock specialists. Guys that can get me threes, guys that can get me steals, guys that can get me blocks, and if they can keep the turnovers low and help my percentages, even better. Multi-position eligibility, those players that have multiple positions, that helps you construct these strong rosters because you only have 13 roster spots. So if you can get a guy that's a point guard and a shooting guard, or a power forward and a center, or those guys that can get you even 3 categories when they have funky categories like point guard, small forward, power forward, or shooting guard, small forward, center, that's really valuable and helps you construct some really strong, intelligent teams. And rule number 7, assists and rebounds for me come from overlap. They come from the other players that I target for other categories. So I don't target just pure assists, for example. I do target the assist to turnover ratio guys. Like I told you, Austin Reeves, Andrew Nembhard, Jamal Murray, guys with great assist to turnover ratio, but can still get me 4+ assists per game on volume. I rarely will ever target guys that just get me rebounds, because if it's just rebounds, they tend to hurt me in categories I don't want to hurt. Maybe they don't get me threes, or maybe they really hurt my free throw percentage. Just, I don't chase rebounds in that way. I'm willing to be middle of the pack in rebounding if necessary. In the same way, I don't target just pure playmakers, guys that are just going to get me assists for the sake of assists. I target those assist to turnover ratio guys I mentioned before. Normally, they're helping me in other areas like my scoring, my threes, other areas that I value. And because I targeted them, I happen to get those assists as well. But I'm not going to grab just an assist guy for the sake of an assist guy. So who are the engines? We talked about the engines in the very beginning. So an engine to me, these are your high usage players. They're going to play 30 minutes per game or more. They're normally top 2 usage on their team. They're going to have 25% or higher usage. They're going to provide volume production for your team. They're the foundation of your team. They're going to give you points, threes, assists, rebounds through sheer volume. Why are engines the foundation? They give you that baseline volume production. You build your entire roster around their strengths and their weaknesses if you're smart. They keep you competitive in all the categories, especially if they can hit the 6+ benchmarks, which we will be discussing more in length. These are the only players I want you targeting for their volume production. Again, I don't want you to reach for guys that just get you threes or score if they're going to help hurt you in other areas. That's like a guy like Klay Thompson. You might target him because he can score and get you a lot of threes, but he doesn't help you anywhere else. I don't target guys like that. So what are the basic benchmarks of an engine player? So what I did is I took the top 50 players for 2024, 2025, and I averaged out their stat. And then I made this my benchmark to identify who my engines are. These are the players that are the heart and soul of my team. So the ideal engine player, if you could bring him into life, this would be his production. Would get you 47% from the field or higher, 82% from the free throw line or higher, would get you 2.5 3-pointers per game, 22+ points per game, 6+ rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, 1.3 steals per game, 1.2 blocks per game, and would get me under 3 turnovers per game. That would be the ideal engine. So we want to target guys that get as close as possible to that 9 category box score. And again, the must-haves: must play 30+ minutes per game. I want guys that were healthy. I want guys that are projected to play 60+ games, and I want them to take a lot of shots. Volume is important. Efficiency without volume, it's meaningless. There's too much variance. You can't really depend on it as much as you can when it's anchored by volume. So we want to check, is this player an engine? Here's a quick check. They're scoring 20+ points per game. They get you 2+ threes per game. Shoots at least 45% from the field. Shoots at least 82% from the free throw line, ideally. Playmaking, they're getting you 4+ rebounds, 4+ assists, under 4 turnovers per game. And for defense, they're getting you 1+ steal or 1+ block, ideally a combination of both. So the more boxes they check, the better the engine. The top engines are going to meet at least 6 to 8 of these benchmarks. So I put together a key. How good is this engine? An 85+ match is an S+ elite engine. These are your championship anchors. These are the guys you're going to have to grab in the first few rounds. These are your Karl Anthony Towns. These are your James Hardens. Then you have the B+ good engine. Solid contributors, good value in the middle rounds. You're talking about Evan Mobley. You're talking about Jalen Brunson. You're talking about Zach LaVine. Then you have your C tier, decent depth pieces or specialists. Focus more on the big 5 categories that we discussed: field goal percentage, free throw percentage, steals, blocks, assist to turnover ratio when targeting those players. So what I did is I ranked all of these players by their engine rank versus their at draft position. And the engine rank was based essentially on how close did they meet the benchmarks that we discussed before. And in the categories that they did not meet the benchmarks, how close were they to meeting that benchmark? So maybe they missed it by a little bit. We weighed that in the calculation. We also weighed their availability last season. So that helped me come up with the engine rank number. And number one on that list was Nikola Jokic. And what I did is I actually compared it to their at draft position to see if we could identify guys that are going lower than they should be going. So maybe they have a very high engine rank, but their ADP is lower than their engine rank. So you see with Nikola Jokic, he's the number one engine rank. Right now, his ADP is the top. So that matches fair value. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, same thing. ADP rank of 4, he's going for number 2. Luka Doncic, ADP rank of 4, he's number 3. So you see it's very close between the engine rank and the ADP rank, but there are some discrepancies, and that might be where we're able to find that value. So, for example, with Kevin Durant, he has an engine rank of 6, but his ADP is 17. So that's a difference of plus 11. So you're getting really good value if you're grabbing Kevin Durant at an ADP of 17. Karl Anthony Towns has an ADP of 13, engine rank of 7. So good value there as well. Where else can we get some good value finds? Donovan Mitchell, ADP rank of 19, engine rank of 11. That's a difference of plus 8. So Donovan Mitchell might be a sleeper target for you with those early round picks. De'Aaron Fox, engine rank of 12, ADP rank of 41. He is missing some time at the beginning of the season, but I don't believe it'll be much time. So you're talking about a difference of plus 29. That makes him a big steal. Now, someone like Devin Booker has an engine rank of 13, an ADP rank of 11. So his ADP is actually higher than his engine rank, and he tends to be a player I avoid, and this kind of shows me why. Now, Franz Wagner has an engine rank of 14, ADP rank of 37. So you're talking about plus 23. That makes him a steal. Derek White, we talk about him all the time. Engine rank of 15, ADP right now at draft position, which means the average position these players are being drafted in. That wasn't clear enough. You're talking about difference of plus 18, makes him a steal. Now, Tyler Hero, he might be missing the first few months of the season with ankle surgery, but keep in mind, he has an engine rank of 17, ADP rank of 71, plus 54 swing in your favor. So if you can grab him at an ADP of 70 to 80, hold him until he comes back, he might produce at a top 17 level. Anthony Edwards, engine rank of 18, ADP of number 8. So maybe you want to avoid picking Anthony Edwards in the top 10. Maybe he's a reach if you're picking him at 8. Just something to consider. Steph Curry, you're getting fair value. Anthony Davis is another player that's considered a slight reach. Probably has a lot to do with his availability that did weigh in the ranking. He's going at number 9, but he has a rank of 20. So that might be a reach. You might want to avoid him. Desmond Bane, 21, ADP of 45, swing of plus 24. Jalen Williams, 22, engine rank, ADP of 25, swing of plus 3. Not much different there. You're getting fair value. But where are some other big steals? You see here, look, Evan Mobley, fair value. Jalen Brunson, almost equal value. He's a rank of 24, ADP of 23. Now, Zach LaVine, you're talking about a rank of 25, ADP of 63. That's a swing of plus 38. So it looks like Zach LaVine may be strongly undervalued. That might be somebody you want to target around the 60s. Eamon Thompson has a rank of 26, is going at 21 right now. So if you're picking them there, you're getting fair value. Now, LaMelo Ball, rank of 27, ADP of 29. You're getting fair value if you're picking him around 30. Now, Jamal Murray, you're getting some really good value with him. He has a engine rank of 28, ADP of 37. So there is some variance in your favor there. Paulo Banchero, we actually hit the nail on the head. He has an engine rank of 29, ADP of 29. So you get fair value if you're grabbing him there. If you want a steal, though, Jaren Jackson Jr. has a rank of 30, ADP of 37, plus 7 in your favor. Not huge, but not insignificant. Darius Garland, another player that's injured to start the season, but you're talking, again, a engine rank of 31, ADP of 68, plus 37 in your favor. That makes him a big steal. Jimmy Butler, rank of 32, ADP of 53, also a steal. Josh Hart, now keep in mind this is based on last season's production, and he may have a different role, so take this with a grain of salt. But Josh Hart has an ADP of 72 and a rank of 33, giving him a variance of plus 39, one of the biggest we have. He's labeled a big steal. Joel Embiid, even with his lack of availability because of his production, gets you a rank of 34, ADP of 52. So he might be a sleeper if you pick him up at his ADP. And at 52, it's not as big of a gamble picking him as you were taking last year, drafting him in the top 10 or 15. Now, Domantas Sabonis might be somebody else that's considered a trap because his rank is 35, but his ADP is 15. So you're talking about a reach of almost 20 spots if you're targeting Domantas Sabonis. And that's because he's not getting you threes. That's because he's turning the ball over. He's hurting your free throw percentage. Even though he does help you in certain categories, the other categories he's hurting you in is why his rank was impacted. LeBron James are getting pretty fair value if you're picking him in the mid-30s. Now, Josh Giddey, a lot of people are picking him in the top 27, but according to the ranks, we really should have him around 37. So you might be reaching slightly if you're picking him with your first 2 to 3 round picks. Trey Murphy III at 38, you get some fair value with him. Nikola Vucevic, rank of 39, ADP of 51, so you're getting some really good value with Nikola Vucevic, not surprised there. If you target Zion Williamson in the 40s, he's bringing you some pretty fair value at that range. OG Anunoby has some sleeper appeal. Difference of plus 24. Kristaps Porzingis, 42, ADP of 54, difference of plus 12. Jordan Poole, ranked 43, ADP of 73. That's a difference of plus 30. He's on a new squad, so it might be time for the pool party, y'all. Miles Bridges, ranked 44, ADP of 63. That's a variance of plus 19. That makes him a steal. Bam Adebayo at 45 ranked. He has an ADP of 33. So if you're drafting him in the top 30, which I have, he might be a slight reach. That's something to keep in mind. Ivica Zubac, ranked 46, ADP of 40. So slight reach, but you're getting pretty fair value. Now, Mark Williams, keep in mind, is injury prone, but he is targeted to be ranked 47 as an engine for your team, ADP of 83. Variance of plus 36 makes him a big steal. You have Jakob Poeltl, a rank of 48, ADP of 73, plus 25. So if you need a big man around the 70s, Jakob Poeltl looks like he has huge sleeper potential. And if you target Walker Kessler at 49, you're getting pretty decent value from him. Kawhi Leonard, if you're grabbing him at 48, which is his ADP right now, he's ranked around 50, so you're getting fair value from him there. I highly suggest you stop this video and just watch that section that we just covered because, man, that might be the most important 5 minutes I've talked about all season. You want to know what players to target and why? That breakdown is right there for you. So the biggest steals, like we just discussed, Tyler Hero, massive steal. Josh Hart, big steal. Darius Garland, De'Aaron Fox, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Derek White. You should be targeting all of those guys because they have huge sleeper potential. Their ADP versus where they ended up ranked, again, compared to this benchmark, that's a composite of the top 50 players for last season. That was the benchmark. The biggest traps and players you might want to consider just passing on, Domantas Sabonis. Anthony Edwards is a slight reach. Anthony Davis is a slight reach. Josh Giddey is a slight reach. Giannis Antetokounmpo has an engine rank of 12, but has an ADP of 6. So unless you're planning on punching free throws, you might want to avoid Giannis Antetokounmpo. Ivica Zubac as well is a slight reach. So be careful with those players. And the best way to use this analysis in your draft, target the massive steals. These are guys with a variance of plus 40. The big steals and steals are guys with a variance of plus 15 or plus 39 in your favor. You can target these guys 1 to 2 rounds after their engine rank. That's because they're better engines than their ADP suggests. Guys like De'Aaron Fox, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner. Good value, plus 8 to plus 14. I mean, solid picks at that draft position. They're going to give you good engine value, and you don't have to reach. Just careful with grabbing too many guys that are slight reaches or traps because that is how you drain the strength from your team. And remember that the engine rankings prioritize volume and balance across categories. So some traps like Anthony Davis and Sabonis are still elite players. They're just more specialists rather than complete engines for your team. I think you should draft steals as part of your engines. If you could grab 1 or 2 really strong engines and then grab some of these steals, and now you have 5 really strong engines, that is when you become impossible. So I'm telling you, man, if there's one video to watch, is this one because we are not done yet. So we're going to discuss the players for you to target, and we're going to list them by position, okay? And the point guards that you should be targeting if you want to fit my BLH team build. Luka Doncic listed as elite triple-double machine. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, perfect all-around production. Cade Cunningham has that top 5 potential, elite playmaker with all-around production. Trae Young, to me, is an exception. I'm a little leery of targeting him. His ADP is at 13. James Harden, I think, is a decent target for his assists. High free throw percentage, high threes. He can score. The turnovers are a little higher than I want, but I prefer him as a target over Trae Young, personally speaking. You have Steph Curry as well, who is an elite option, shooting 93% from the free throw line, along with 4.4 three-pointers made, scoring 24-plus points per game, getting you only 2.9 turnovers per game over a steal per game. That's very helpful production. You have Tyrese Maxey. Field goal percentage isn't great, but high free throw percentage, a lot of threes, a lot of points. It's getting you good assists, getting you 1.8 steals, 0.4 blocks per game, only 2.4 turnovers. I like that combination. Jalen Brunson, strong producer as well, with an elite assist to turnover ratio, elite field goal percentage, really high free throw percentage. He is one of those dual anchors. LaMelo Ball, I won't be targeting him. I think he's an exception if you grab him. Really low field goal percentage, really injury prone, hurts you in a lot of different areas and doesn't help you enough in the areas I like, though he does get you 25 points per game, almost 4 3-pointers made per game. When he's healthy, the production is nice, but his availability is a big question mark. Jamal Murray, I think he has huge upside. Field goal percentage 47%, free throw percentage 88%, really nice assist to turnover ratio, plus 21.4 points per game, 6 assists per game, only 2.1 turnovers. De'Aaron Fox, ADP of only 40.6. Nice across the board production, and he's in a good situation. Also gets you 1.5 steals per game, 6.3 assists, only 2.8 turnovers. I like that combination. John Morant, not a huge target. He's a solid option for you, but there are other players I prefer, like De'Aaron Fox. I just don't like the fact that he doesn't get me a lot of blocks, doesn't get me enough threes. The field goal percentage is average. Peyton Pritchard shot 47% from the field. Last season got you over 3 3-pointers made. The assist to turnover ratio at 3.5. I think he's going to beat that ADP of 66.1. Darius Garland, we already discussed him, but another strong option with an ADP at 67.8. Drew Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Cason Wallace, Kyrie Irving, if you can hold them in your IL until later on in the season, he might pay dividends for you. Chris Paul, elite assist to turnover ratio. His ADP is 142, so you could grab him really late in your drafts. Ty Jerome's another guy you can grab really late in your drafts with a really nice assist to turnover ratio. And he's helping you with your field goal percentage and free throw percentage if last year were any indication. Tyus Jones has a new situation right now with the Orlando Magic. Will he play enough minutes to be a factor? That remains to be seen. But when he does play, he has an elite assist to turnover ratio, 4.82. And you could grab him really late in drafts. He also has really high free throw shooting at 89.5%. And you have Mike Conley. I probably won't be targeting him heavily, but he does have a very nice assist to turnover ratio if he does manage to play significant minutes this season. The shooting guard options are Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Derek White, Austin Reeves, Desmond Bane. I think very underrated, especially with the fantasy basketball playoff schedule the Orlando Magic have. Kobe White, another decent option at an ADP of 57.9. The assist to turnover ratio is lower than I like, but there is some upside for him to produce this season. Zach LaVine, nice field goal percentage, nice free throw percentage, especially for a guy that can get you a decent amount of threes. Will he get enough touches in Sacramento with all the mouths they have to feed there? That remains to be seen. They just added Westbrook to the mix. I also don't like his assist to turnover ratio, but still ADP of 63. He makes some sense. Tyler Hero, we already discussed him. If you can grab him at 70 and hold him in your IL, his production justifies holding on to him because when he is healthy, he's a top producer. Emmanuel Quickly, solid option, though he may be an exception because he only played 33 games last season. Jalen Green's an exception because of the very low assist to turnover ratio, the low field goal percentage. There are some goodies there, but you're not going to get steals. You're not going to get blocks. He doesn't help enough to be an engine, and he doesn't help enough in the 5 categories that I've told you to target. Bradley Beal, very injury prone, but when he does play, his production is pretty solid. So that's something that you want to keep in mind late in your drafts. And then Norman Powell has the possibility of helping you, high field goal percentage, decent free throw percentage, a lot of threes, microwave score, can get you a little bit of steals, isn't going to turn over the ball a lot. His assist to turnover ratio is lower than I want, but you could do a whole lot worse. And if you didn't know the key, the elite perfect mandatory tier, these guys have no weaknesses, strong or solid. They're good fits with some minor weaknesses, and the exceptions hurt 2+ of the big 5 categories. I want max of 2 players or acceptable risks who hurt 1 category, but there may be elite in other areas. The small forwards I'm targeting, Kevin Durant, ADP of 17.3, has elite potential. Amen Thompson, exception because of his poor free throw percentage, but he gets you a good amount of steals. He gets you a good amount of blocks. That definitely helps a whole lot. Jalen Johnson, ADP of only 24.5. Assist to turnover ratio is lower than I want, but he contributes nicely across the board. He can score, get you threes. Free throw percentage isn't great, but he can get you some assists. He can get you some steals. He can produce in categories that I value. Josh Giddey, free throw percentage isn't great. Doesn't get you a ton of threes, but he can score. He can rebound. He can get you assists. Has that triple-double upside for a guy who can get you some steals. The assist to turnover ratio of 2.4 is not bad. LeBron James might be missing the first few weeks of the season. Free throw percentage is lower than I like, but he contributes pretty nicely across the board. If you can grab him around 40, maybe take a chance, but at his advanced age, I probably won't be targeting him too much. Franz Wagner, ADP of 36.2, assist to turnover ratio slightly above 2, Very balanced production from him. He can score, he can rebound, he can get assists, he can get you some steals, not a lot of turnovers, really high free throw percentage. I value that production. Dyson Daniels, one more needs to be said about this guy. Got you 3 steals per game, led the league in steals, the most steals per game in decades. Can he do it again? We will see. With Cooper Flagg, of course, these are projections. This is his rookie season, but he's projected to get you close to 2 threes, 17 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.6 steals, 1.3 blocks. Are those projections ambitious? Probably, but he'll have a huge opportunity to prove himself this season on a Dallas Mavericks team that's definitely going to give him the keys. Trey Murphy, the third, very strong contributor, helps you across the board. Great 3-and-D profile for a guy that can get you a lot of threes, can get you steals, can get you close to a block per game, not a lot of turnovers, and really high free throw percentage without hurting your field goal percentage. Zion Williamson is an exception because of his low free throw percentage, even though his field goal percentage and his points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, not bad at all. 3 turnovers, though, considering he's only getting 5.3 assists, lower than I like. Kawhi Leonard has elite potential, but he's a huge injury liability. His production is great when he does play, but still at an ADP of 47.8, I think he's worth the risk. Brandon Miller is also another injury liability. He missed a lot of games last season. When he did play, though, he contributed in a lot of categories I value, such as 3-pointers made, got you some steals, the turnover ratio lower than I want, but young player with a lot of opportunity. Jimmy Butler, ADP of 52.1, elite contributor, doesn't get me threes, but high field goal percentage, high free throw percentage, makes him a dual percentage anchor. Points, he can score, rebound, assist, get you steals. The blocks are low, the turnovers are low, but that elite assist to turnover ratio, that scoring, that across the board contributions in those categories I told you I value is why I like having him on this list. OG Anunoby, a perfect contributor for your team. Nice field goal percentage, nice free throw percentage, can get you threes, can score, can get you a sprinkle of steals, get you close to a block per game, low turnovers. He's a great glue player for your team. DeMar DeRozan with an ADP of 68, another guy that can help you with your percentages, with your scoring, can get you over a 3 per game. It's pretty low for a guard, but it used to be lower than that. Doesn't get you many steals or blocks, but he also doesn't turn over the ball a lot. Really nice assist to turnover ratio from him. Josh Hart might not have the same opportunity this season, but last season had a great season, 52% from the field. A great rebounding from a guard, got you almost 10 rebounds. And if you could get a guard that can rebound a lot, then you can make up for a big man you targeted that maybe doesn't get you as many rebounds. He can get you some steals. The turnover to assist ratio is pretty nice as well at 2.81. Brandon Ingram I won't be targeting, but he is a solid option. Field goal percentage isn't terrible. Free throw percentage is high. He can get you threes. He can score, rebound, and assist. But the steals, blocks, and turnovers are definitely not where I want him. Michael Porter Jr., another guy with a poor assist to turnover ratio, but Brooklyn is going to give him a lot of shots. Will he be available during your fantasy basketball playoffs? Possibly. They have a strong schedule. Field goal percentage is high. He can get you threes. He can score, rebound, get you a couple of assists. Isn't going to get you any steals or blocks, but his turnovers are pretty low. Mikal Bridges, he's dropped off a bit. Used to be a higher target in the past. ADP is 79.9. High field goal percentage, high free throw percentage. Can get you threes, score. Doesn't get you as many steals as he used to. Can get you half a block per game. Keeps the turnovers low. Pretty decent glue guy if you're drafting around 80. Terry Eason is a guy that's very injury prone, but can help you in some important categories, such as getting you steals. Last year got you 1.7 steals, 0.9 blocks, low turnovers, some strong 3-and-D potential from him. Herbert Jones is another one of those strong defensive contributors. Got you 1.1 threes, got you 1.9 steals, half a block per game, low turnovers. He missed a lot of games last season due to a shoulder injury. Will he play and be healthy this season? If he is, he could be a huge contributor in those 5 categories that we've been talking about. And Aaron Naismith is a decent target with one of your late options. He may have some opportunity to produce on a Pacers team that is missing their star player and also lost Miles Turner to the Milwaukee Bucks. Field goal percentage high, free throw percentage high, decent amount of threes, not a lot of turnovers. Decent guy to target late in your draft if you want a glue guy that can really smooth out your stats. And the power forwards that you can target in drafts, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, ADP of 6.2, Anthony Davis, ADP of 9.2, Karl Anthony Towns, ADP of 12.2. You got Evan Mobley, Jalen Williams. You would have to pick him around 24, but he has an elite profile and meets a lot of the statistical categories that we are benchmarking against. The only thing I don't like, Oklahoma City has a pretty poor fantasy playoff schedule depending on your league setting. Scotty Barnes, another strong target, ADP of 26.3. You have John Collins. His ADP is off here. It's definitely not 29. You can get him around 85, but his potential to produce is really high. High field goal percentage, high free throw percentage, can get you threes, can get you close to a steal, close to a block. He can score, isn't going to turn over the ball a lot. Will he get enough playing time on a loaded Clippers team? That remains to be seen. Pascal Siakam is a decent option at 31.8, followed by Bam Adebayo, Jaren Jackson Jr., Kristaps Porzingis, Lauri Markkanen, Miles Bridges, Julius Randle, Cameron Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu, Draymond Green, Tobias Harris, and Aaron Gordon. These are all guys that help you in a lot of the categories that we've been discussing. Like a guy like Draymond Green can get you 5+ assists. He's going to get you steals. He's going to get you blocks. Decent assist to turnover ratio, 2.15 from a center eligible player. And the big men that you can target, of course, if you have that number 1 pick, you're going to grab Nikola Jokic. If you have that number 2 pick, you're probably going to grab Victor Wembanyama. What are some other big men that you can target? Domantas Sabonis, a lot of assists, many Jokic-like production. Another baby Jokic is Alperen Şengün, ADP of 20.3. Houston has a great fantasy basketball playoff schedule. Chet Holmgren is another one of those unicorns that can really help out your team, even though the assist-to-turnover ratio isn't great. Can still get you a lot of threes and a lot of blocks. Ivica Zubac is an exception. Really high field goal percentage, poor free throw percentage, so proceed with caution. Miles Turner can get you a decent field goal percentage, a lot of threes, and a lot of blocks from the center position, which is why I value him. Joel Embiid at an ADP of 48, if he remains healthy, might be able to help your team this season. That's a pretty low ADP given his upside. Just keep in mind, he only played 19 games last season. Nikola Vucevic can contribute in multiple areas. High field goal, high free throw percentage, can score, get you threes, rebounds, decent assists. Isn't going to get you steals or blocks, but the assist-to-turnover ratio, I like. Jalen Duren, ADP of 55, is an exception because of his low free throw percentage, but he can get you a lot of rebounds, shoot really high field goal percentage, get you decent blocks. And he's a young player still growing into his own. Jared Allen, I think with this guy, what you see is what you get. You're going to get 13 points. You're going to get 9 to 10 rebounds. You're going to get maybe a block per game. You're going to get low turnovers. Free throw percentage at 71, not exactly hurting you, but not really helping. Walker Kessler is another one of those punt free throw sort of guys, along with Rudy Gobert, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jakob Poeltl. Now, a guy that isn't a punt free throw guy is Mark Williams because his free throw percentage is really high, as is his field goal percentage. He can rebound. He can get you some blocks. Really nice 9-category production. The only thing is he is very injury prone and only played 44 games last season, and we haven't seen him fully healthy. We actually saw the Lakers cancel the trade after they gave him a physical. So that's something to keep in mind. He has an ADP of 82.9. Derek Lively, ADP of 107.2. Really high field goal percentage, really pro free throw percentage, similar to the punt free throw guys we discussed a little bit ago. Still, though, there is some upside there with him. Brook Lopez on a Clippers team where he's probably going to be a backup. Will he play enough minutes to help you? Hopefully, he's a guy that can get you a lot of blocks, a lot of threes. That's really why you target him. High free throw percentage, high field goal percentage, and low turnover. Assist to turnover ratio is only 1.6, but I will allow it when he's getting me threes and blocks along with a high free throw percentage. Daniel Gafford, high field goal percentage, low free throw percentage, another punt free throw sort of guy. Jonas Valanciunas is a backup to Nikola Jokic this season. Will he be able to help you? I don't know. Maybe as a handcuff to Nikola Jokic, but when he does play, he's one of those guys that helps your field goal percentage and your free throw percentage. He can rebound, isn't going to get you steals or blocks, but he can protect the turnovers to some degree. Pick him with your very last pick, and hopefully he gets enough playing time to help your team out. So you're building out your championship roster. Here's how the roster math needs to work, okay? Target players that serve multiple roles. There has to be overlap. So a good example, Karl-Anthony Towns. He could be your engine, 24.4 points, 12.8 rebounds, 3.1 assists, but he's also a dual anchor because he's helping your field goal percentage, your free throw percentage. You're getting a center, and he's hitting 7 of the different benchmarks that we were using. Another good example is Tyrese Maxey, steal specialist, free throw anchor, point guard position, also hitting 7 of the benchmarks that we're comparing against. So one player can fill 3 different roles. That's how we maximize our 13 roster spots. So your 2 to 3 engines should also be anchors or specialists. They can fit multiple roles. So the 13-man breakdown for your roster, and again, there's going to be some variance. I'm just trying to put everything as cohesively as I can for you. But spots 1 through 3 in your draft are going to be your engines. Then spots 4 to 9, you want to target steals and block specialists. Then with spots 10 to 11, if you can get guys with high field goal percentage and high free throw percentage to help you there, like I just said, Jonas Valanciunas, maybe he's one of those guys. Then with your spots 12 to 13, you want to target those guys with great assist to turnover ratio. So you're talking about guys like Chris Paul. You're talking about guys like Peyton Pritchard. You're talking about guys like Tyus Jones who have the possibility of helping you there. Remember that multi-position eligibility equals roster flexibility. You need 4 to 5 centers, 4 to 5 guards. That's 8 to 10 spots, but you only have 13 total. So you got to have overlap. So Bam might be your center and your power forward. So that means 2 requirements. More positional flexibility just gives you more options with structuring your roster. You don't want to have a roster that's not optimized and you're sitting a guy because he's a guard, but all you have available is your center slot. So again, 4 to 5 centers, 4 to 5 guards, and then target 3 to 4 wings. So multi-eligible gems for you are Bam Adebayo, Jalen Williams, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and you've got Josh Hart. So the recipe has been simple to build your 13-man roster. Target your engines. Step 2, fill the roster with specialists that help you with your big 5 categories: field goal percentage, free throw percentage, steals, blocks, turnovers, keeping those low. And then you want to stream every single week so that you can patch any holes in your build. So the players that are closest to the benchmarks that we set for your players across. So this is not the superstar benchmark. This is the benchmark that we want on average for all 13 players on our roster. So the closest players to those benchmarks, of course, you got Nikola Jokic, you got Shea, you got James Harden, Kevin Durant, you got Karl Anthony Towns, Victor Wembanyama, Jimmy Butler, you've got Jalen Williams, you've got Luka Doncic, Giannis, Cade Cunningham, you got Tyrese Maxey, Kyrie Irving, OG Anunoby, Anthony Davis, Nikola Vucevic, Domantas Sabonis, Derek White, John Collins, Jalen Johnson, Tyler Hero, LeBron James, Franz Wagner, Desmond Bane, Zach LaVine, Kristaps Porzingis, Lauri Markkanen, and Brook Lopez. And some specialists that you can target it, and they are sorted by ADP. Dyson Daniels with those elite steals. You got Peyton Pritchard, the assist-to-turnover ratio god. DeMar DeRozan, also assist-to-turnover ratio god. You got Josh Hart, Cameron Johnson. That's a free throw percentage anchor that can get you threes. You got Terry Eason locking down your steals and your blocks on a high field goal percentage. You got Drew Holiday with a really nice assist-to-turnover ratio. You've got Aaron Gordon helping you out with low turnovers, high percentages. Herbert Jones helping you with those steals and blocks. Cason Wallace helping you with those steals and blocks. You got Aaron Naismith helping your percentages. You got Daniel Gafford. If you're late in the draft and you need some blocks and high field goal percentage, he's your guy, but he's going to hurt your free throw percentage in threes. Chris Paul, Tyus Jones, again, those assist-to-turnover ratio gods we like to target. Jonas Valanciunas, handcuffed maybe to Nikola Jokic. You got Mike Conley and Ty Jerome as players that can really help out your team. If you target all these guys and you build a roster full of these players I just named, you're going to win at least 5 categories every single week. You're just going. So to wrap this video up, here are the minimum thresholds. You want 2 engines, ideally 3. Your S+ engines, Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka, Victor, and Cade. Your A+ engines are Kevin Durant, Karl Anthony Towns, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, Franz Wagner, Derek White, Anthony Edwards, Stephen Curry, Anthony Davis, Desmond Bane. You want to draft 2 to 3 of these players as your foundation. Then you want some steal specialists. Those are going to be Dyson Daniels, Amon Thompson, Herbert Jones, Jalen Williams, Tyrese Maxey, Cason Wallace, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Terry Eason, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Johnson, Cooper Flagg's projected to help you there, Kawhi Leonard, OG Anunoby, De'Aaron Fox, and James Harden. You want at minimum 3 of these guys, ideally maybe up to 5 to 7. So your dual percentage anchors, these are players that shoot 47% from the field and at least 81% from the free throw line. So you're talking Aaron Naismith, Desmond Bane, Cameron Johnson, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jonas Valanciunas, Tyler Hero, Ty Jerome, Tobias Harris, DeMar DeRozan, John Collins, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant. Strong dual anchors that can help you in both. Karl Anthony Towns, Brook Lopez, Zach LaVine, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Aaron Gordon, Kristaps Porzingis, Nikola Vucevic, and Mark Williams. You want to target 2 to 4 of these dual percentage anchors. These 21 players help both percentages. Keep in mind, guys like Giannis, Duran, Lively have elite field goal percentage, but can really hurt your free throw percentage. I want you to target at least 3 shot blockers, guys that get you at least 1.5 blocks per game. So these big men are Victor Wembanyama, Walker Kessler, Anthony Davis, Chet Holmgren, Miles Turner, Brook Lopez, Daniel Gafford, Evan Mobley, Derek Lively, Jaren Jackson Jr., Kristaps Porzingis. Other guys that can help you, Cooper Flagg's projected to get you 1.3 blocks. Giannis with 1.2. You've got Kevin Durant, Jakob Poeltl, Amon Thompson, Derek White, a guard that gets you over 1. Ivica Zubac can get you over 1. Jalen Duren, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 1 from the guard position. Jalen Johnson, John Collins, Scotty Barnes, Herbert Jones, OG Anunoby, Terry Eason are all guys that can help you there as well. Just notice the overlap. Many steal specialists are also guys that help you with blocks. That is how we become strong in both. Then you want a minimum of 2 assist to turnover ratio guys. So that's 2.5 assist to turnover ratio. Those guys are Tyus Jones, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, Mike Conley. The ones that are strong at it are Peyton Pritchard, Drew Holiday, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Jokic. The good assist to turnover ratio guys are Jalen Brunson, Austin Reeves, Jamal Murray, Derek White, Draymond Green, Darius Garland, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cade Cunningham, Tyrese Maxey, and James Harden. All 18 of those players provide 4+ assists while keeping the turnovers relatively low. You want to target 2 to 3 of these guys. And if any player was labeled an exception, you want a maximum of 2 to 3 of those. That's it. So the quick reference guide, you always want to draft guys that have a field goal percentage of 50% higher or 82% or higher. Players with an elite assist to turnover ratio of 3 or higher. You want to target guys with 2+ steals or 1.5 blocks per game. And you want unicorns, assists from the center position, blocks from your guards. Avoid these traps. Pure volume shooters with bad field goal percentage. So you got Trey, LaMelo in the early rounds. Rebounding bigs with terrible free throw percentage. You want 2 max. I think that's enough, actually. Too many. High usage guards with bad assist to turnover ratio. And anyone less than 45% field goal and less than 75% from the free throw line. The other exceptions, they hurt 1 or 2 categories, but elite elsewhere. You got Dyson Daniels, poor free throw percentage, but gets you 3 steals per game. You got Giannis with poor free throw percentage, but that elite field goal percentage. You got Chris Paul with poor field goal percentage, but elite assist to turnover ratio. And you've got Jalen Duren with the poor free throw percentage, but really high field goal percentage.